90s was 20 years ago, dude.
Yes.
Anyway, who sang "Hold My Hand"?
Oh shit! I don't know. How's it go?
Hold my hand.
Oh,
I don't know.
no, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
exactly
like
like
that.
that.
Somewhere,
Yeah, just
somewhere.
like that, right?
Yeah.
Anyone?
like that.
Anyone?
No.
Train.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fire.
You guys suck.
Wow.
You guys suck.
Here
You guys
I've
don't
been
know.
fired.
I don't think
You guys don't know. You guys don't know 90s for shit.
Apparently not. Apparently.
Which
not.
two?
90s rock and roll.
Which two new kids on the block were brothers?
Dick.
This is just
Was this tailored for Steph?
I don't know. I don't even
New
think so.
Kids on the Block?
Yes.
Had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick.
Huey and Lewis.
Shut up. Oh God.
All right, Steph's out. Jimmy?
I had no
Yeah,
idea.
I knew it was a swing and a miss. You?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan and Jonathan Knight.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
No idea.
All right.
Oh man.
God damn it. Who said? Oh no, no one's gonna get that either. Son of a bitch. These
Dude,
questions.
we're not getting any of them. Just say the question.
Next
Okay,
point wins.
Who sang? Yeah,
This
no
is
kidding.
sad.
Who sang "A Whole New World"?
Steph.
Yes.
Jasmine and Aladdin.
That should be a point.
God
Oh
damn
my
it.
God. No, that should-
no,
that shouldn't.
no, that should not. No, no.
But no, I have no clue.
I don't
I have
know.
no clue.
All right. It
Who
was,
was it?
Peebo Bryson
I
and
would
Regina
never-
Bell.
What the
Never
fuck?
guessed.
All right,
I
dude.
told you.
Where
this-
are you getting these questions from? You're
I-
fired. You're fucking fired.
No, man. I swear. I can
Send it to
redeem
you.
myself.
These are clearly
Foodtopia
not
so
mainstream
fast.
artists.
Jeez.
All right.
Yeah.
Which member of what rap band burned her football player's boyfriend house down?
It's a she, so I'm gonna go with Joe. What rap band? TLC?
Okay, that's the rap band.
Yeah.
And who's the person?
I
And
don't
if you know a nickname.
Left eye.
Oh, Jimmy with the win! Jimmy with the win!
Jimmy!
And that was the world's hardest rock music.
Yeah, it was.
Oh shit,
That was a
man!
bullshit trivia.
That was such
I'm
a
sorry,
bullshit
guys.
trivia.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for all of it. All of it. All
Oh,
of it.
man.
None of that should happen.
Can you throw us a bone and like give us something that we it's just so it's gratuitous at this point?
Can it just not be sad?
I'm sorry.
Whatever. We'll try this again some
we'll,
other time.
we'll do a better one next time. Sorry, guys.
And I want to point out that just like we did in the last episode where we played a Fallen Electric track, even after the music highlight segment, we're going to play one at the end of this one. So stay tuned after the outro. There's going to be an end of credit scene, and we're going to play another the Fallen Electric track. So speaking of music highlights, let's go right into the music segment. Okay, well, I asked Jimmy before he came in here, hey man, what are a couple of the songs that you think that, or at least that you really, really enjoy and didn't think they got the love that they deserved back when they came out, and maybe even still today? One of the first ones that Jimmy told me about was Nirvana's Sappy. What do you guys say about that?
It's one of those songs that, you know, people know it and
Yeah.
it gets radio play, but it just doesn't get the respect I think it should, as long as, like, you know, we all know the hits. We all know, you know, In Bloom. We all know, you know, Come As You Are, Smells Like Teen Spirit, all that stuff. But like, that's one of the ones that was kind of on the B-sides of their albums. You know, they have this box set out called With the Lights Out.
Yeah.
And it's only found on there. It's kind of like a rare recording they did that only, you know.
And K-Rock
it's-
here in Los Angeles,
Right.
you'll find them playing it like on weekends or late into the night, or when they have the Rock of the 90s kind of weekend.
Yeah, that's usually when you hear
and
it.
that's about the time you hear it.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And
It's not a foreign, like it's a recognizable song. Everybody who knows Nirvana has definitely heard this song. You just don't hear it enough.
You just don't hear it enough.
No.
And I just think it just doesn't get the respect it should, because it's such a catchy and well-driven song that it's, you know, the industry is crazy in that sense where I don't get it a lot. it's crazy. So it's
Right on.
yeah.
Well, let's hear a little bit of it, huh?
Yeah.
Here we go.
And if you save yourself, you will make him happy. Keep you in a job, and you'll think you're happy. He'll give you breathing holes, then you'll think you're happy. He'll cover you with death, then you'll think you're happy. You're in a lockdown. You're in a lockdown. Includes a can't you? And if you cut yourself.
All right. Well, that was Sappy by Nirvana. Nirvana.
They just don't write music like that
Nirvana
anymore.
way.
Well, I mean, Nirvana's not around anymore, but
Yeah.
I hear what you.
Yeah.
talking about.
It's
It's kind of
yeah.
hard. It's kind of hard to write that type
Yeah.
of music.
Yeah, and
It's-
you know,
It's
I've unless the second guitar came in on the chorus, it really just feels like a 3-piece band.
Totally.
like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
totally raw.
definitely.
It's raw. Yeah.
And I mean, those were the early days of Nirvana. That was before. Was that before? Nevermind.
I
that album?
believe that, or probably in between. Like, I want to say, I don't know if they had Nevermind out already,
Right.
or it was in the making of it. Maybe around there.
So yeah, that song always puts me in a good mood whenever I hear it. Another song that I asked you to come through with was that you told me that you wanted to hear was 1989's Firewoman by The Cult on their album
yes.
Sonic Temple.
Oh,
The Cult
the Colts.
is, and we were talking about this. In my opinion, I think The Cult and maybe on the other side of that kind of spectrum, REM, were the two
Right.
bands that were the missing link
They were.
between what was happening in the 80s with their rock and roll and their production, kind of like the way they would do production back in the 80s, where it was very heavily reverbed,
Right.
snares, and
Yeah.
everything.
They still have
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
They still
But
have that component, but the way they were writing music was more like that grungy alternative rock, kind of a combination in between metal, punk, grunge, even though
Yeah.
it didn't really hit in 1989 yet.
They kind of were
into
the turning
alternative
point.
rock.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because they were considered punk,
Right.
And then like they kind of helped transition into what we have alternative.
But they
Right.
still have a metal component about.
Oh
them.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean they're not normal. They're not punk. Like,
No.
but they follow into that category because of how their lyrics are kind of composed, and then how their sound originally is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean they're very much more structured. I
Back-
felt like.
back when we
I
were
like
s-
his voice.
Oh, his
Oh,
voice
yeah.
is
He's
He
insane.
amazing.
belts
Oh.
everything out. And
Yeah.
wears his cowboy hat and everything.
Oh, dude, yeah, and he's got that that big sound in his he's got that 80s sound in his voice, but
Right.
like you said, it's like it's got this alternative twist to it, and it's really something that's just different.
So Firewoman
So-
is one of my favorite songs for them. So
Yes.
we'll go ahead and play the shit out
Play
of this
that,
one right now.
yes.
all right, all right.
Fire
So that's a fucking song.
Dude,
That's
a
hell
fucking
yeah.
song, man.
Damn,
Oh.
you guys should totally cover that shit. That shit is awesome.
It's just insane.
Oh,
It's
Yeah, it'd be
just
dope if we pulled
Oh.
it off. I mean, I think we could pull off the harmonies and everything.
100%. And it's just one of those. It's just rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that's the definition
100%,
of rock and
100%.
roll.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just how I see it.
The whole song, and you know,
It's-
I wouldn't say it's radio friendly considering it's 5 minutes and 11 seconds long.
It's
but
not. Yeah.
when you hear it on the radio,
Not
dude,
nowadays.
I can't turn it off.
No.
Even if I'm like, if I
Nope.
get to my destination as I'm driving to, I'm like, well, I gotta stay in here until
And
the
you
fucking song's done.
Park it. Yeah, it's
Park
like,
it.
Yep,
Wait.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
like hang on.
Yep.
Especially when I'm driving Steph and
Show
Steph
up
just
5
wants to get
minutes.
out of the car.
Show up 5
It's like,
minutes.
hang on,
early to
hang
work.
on. I'm not done. I'm not fucking done yet. Leave. I'll meet you in there.
Yep. One of my dad's favorite bands, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yep. The Cult.
The Cult.
Nice.
That's a good one, man.
So
That was awesome.
Yep.
Now, the third song that I brought in for today was this song that really, in my opinion, just does not get any love anywhere. Nobody knows who the fuck this is.
Oh, yeah?
Very few people know who Cracker the band is.
Right.
Cracker?
This album came out in 1993. The album was called Kerosene Hat. Now, the more popular song on this album is
Low.
right?
Low.
But there's another one on the same album called Get Off This. And what really strikes me that's like awesome about this song is the bass work, the staccatos in the bass. And it's very 90s. It's very 90s. It's hard to explain, but because of the way the bass is written, it's in the pocket. It's so crisp. You'll know what the fuck I'm talking about. Here's this song called Get Off This.
All these cats with holy jeans, dirty hair and titty rings. Say what you see, man. We got these questions. Is it true that you've sold your soul? I say, hey man, I don't know. Let me a quarter, won't you? I'll call my accountant. Let's get on this. Get on with it. If you wanna change the world, shut your mouth and stop this minute. Get off this. Get on with it. If you wanna change the world, shut your mouth, start this minute.
I like that they have what sounds like a talk box.
Yeah.
right here
Yeah.
for the guitar effect. This is a really fun song to play, and then whenever I put it on, everybody's like, "Who sings this? Is this a new band?" But
Right.
no, 1993's Crackers Kerosene Hat album. Get Off This. The whole album is really good. Anybody with Apple Music and Spotify can check these guys out, just along with all the other songs that we played today, on top of the Fallen Electric.
Right.
It's very, very uplifting. And again with the
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Like, it sounds really good.
and they don't make shit like this anymore.
No.
They just don't. That's kind of where I'm at with it. It's just like it's one
Very
of those things.
nostalgic.
And
type
and,
of song.
and
Yeah.
if they do, like, it's not popular enough.
It's
No.
not.
Mhm.
You could tell it has like that very 90s feel to it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, it feels good.
Lyrics
Nice.
were good back then. The melodies were good. There was harmonies back then. You know, it's just there was so much more like heart to it.
Yeah.
Than there is in music now.
Well, a lot of 90s songs were people kind of not. It was that anti new wave
Right.
movement where everything was very kind of like colorful hair, leotards,
Right.
mascara, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
here comes Kurt
Yeah.
Cobain with his flannel and his torn jeans and shit.
Boy Next Door
Like,
kind of
fuck
thing.
You,
Yeah, fuck you kind
fuck
of thing.
you, 80s. Like,
Yep.
where we've had enough of this hair metal and hairspray shit.
Yeah.
To me, I can't stand the 80s. I know that's not a popular opinion, but everybody who thinks that is a fucking moron because the 80s were very boring, robotic, and uninspiring to me because everything was so synthesizer based, and that's what bothers me about today's music. It's pretty much that same kind of music, but just crisper sounding, just more produced,
Right.
overly
Yeah.
produced.
Yeah.
Right.
Where the 90s hit that sweet spot that the
Yeah.
60s had.
Right.
And discovered back in the 60s, everything was very folky, very melodic, harmonic, and the 90s brought
Totally.
that back. You
Totally.
know, and a little bit of the 2000s, but it just died off at a certain point.
Yeah.
I would say like maybe late 2000s is where it started kind of